it's Heather from Strings and Threads. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here. If you're not already part of all of this yarny fun, I encourage you to subscribe and become part of it. This has been an amazing experience. I hope for you, it has definitely been for me. I have learned so much. I've grown so much as an artist just by doing this channel, and I've pushed myself and done things that I never would have ever dreamed I would have done. So, for example, I wanted to come on here today to let you know that I've been doing a little bit of revising and editing of the books that I have published on Amazon. I never would have thought I would have published a book, crocheting pattern book, or any other book otherwise. So last summer, with the encouragement of all my friends here and with the collection of patterns that I've had throughout the years, I went and took the next step and went to Amazon and had I had 4 books published. And what had happened recently was I received an email from Amazon saying that they were going to up their printing charges for their books. So I had to do some sort of reassessment, and I believe this was good. I'm actually really glad that they had this new thing come out where they're upping their, I'm not glad that they're upping their charges, but I'm glad that there was something to push me to change it, because 2 of the 4 books basically had no sales in the past year. And it's not, I think I'm learning a lot about different things, and I didn't do a really good job with them. It was my first attempt, and, it just didn't go really well, and that's fine. You live and learn, and you can't get better until you've had some failures. And so those 2 books, one was just a compilation book of a bunch of patterns I had, and another one was called Cute Cuddly Companion Dolls. And they were dolls and some amigurumi. But there are definitely much nicer looking amigurumi books out there than the one that I was able to make on my own. So what I did was I unpublished them. But what I found interesting was that Amazon didn't take it off completely. Amazon still has those books listed, just saying out of stock. So I don't know if that's just part of the process, or like maybe sometime soon it'll just be off of Amazon altogether. I don't know how all of that works. But anyway, those 2 books are still, well, and then I took a 3rd one down as well. But what I did was I combined 2 books. I had 2 dice bag books, 2 separate dice bag books. I had published one before all of the other ones. And then I had gone on vacation to Gen Con last summer, which is a gaming convention. And while I was there, I was inspired by a lot of things that I saw, and I came up with a bunch of new designs for dice bags. So then, since I already had the 1 book published, I published a 2nd book. And what I decided to do, especially since the cost of everything is going up, I decided to just combine all the patterns into 1 book. So now there's 19 dice bag patterns in the 1 book. I kept the name Fantastic Fantasy Dice Bags. And I'll show you. I have a new cover on the front of it. Right now it's live on Kindle, but it takes a little bit longer for them to make the books live. I don't know if it's a formatting thing or if they're checking copyright things. Sorry, I know that there is a glare. I'm doing my best to try. There we go. Fantastic Fantasy Dice Bags crochet patterns. And there's 19 in there. On the back of the cover, it has pictures of the other ones. So I wanted to let you know too that I had to up what I was charging for the books, because I would have owed Amazon printing charges if I would have kept them at the same price. And unfortunately, especially with self-published books, there was a specific, and I don't want to call anyone out, but there was a specific person working from a book that I happen to know was self-published by somebody who has a YouTube account. And when they were talking about the book, they were saying, oh, this is a good book, but it's so expensive. They just way overcharged. And I went back and looked, and that person who self-published that book was selling it for the same thing that I was selling my book for. I get when I had them listed before, I get $3 per book royalty. So I don't think that's overcharging. Unfortunately, we have to pay for the printing charges, and then Amazon, of course, gets a cut of it. So it ends up being pretty darn expensive to publish a book. So for paperback, and maybe it's better to think of it this way. I had to charge $29.99 for my paperback that has the 19 patterns, which brings it to less than $2 per pattern, which is cheaper than you can get them individually on Etsy. And I realize that people might think it's a lot of money, $29.99 for a paperback book. But after they raise their charge on June 30th, I will receive $4.12 per book as my cut of it. So imagine how much lower can I go and still get something for the book. So you're probably going to see other books prices going up soon as well, just because June 30th, Amazon is upping the charge for their self-published books. They're upping the printing charge. So I also will have it available in hardback. And the hardback, I needed to charge $39.99. Again, I'm making under $5 a book profit. I don't know what anybody else would think would be fair, especially considering I don't sell a lot of these books. I probably sell 2 to 4 books per pay cycle, which I believe is every 4 months. So, nobody's getting rich off of these books. If you're getting a self-published book, you're helping that person out for sure, but unless they're selling thousands of copies, they're not really, it's not an income for them. It's more like maybe the prestige of saying I have a book published. One thing that I have loved about having my books published is that it has helped me out when I was on Etsy. And a while back, if you were with me for a while, you probably remember this. There were people in the past who tried to take my pattern and sell it as if it was their own, breaking the copyright law. And I had to go to Etsy and say, these people are doing this. I've had this pattern since, for 10 plus years. And when I go to them with a copyright violation, I have to prove to them that it's my pattern. So I have pictures from my Facebook way back to 2012 of this particular pattern that was stolen and somebody was claiming was their own. And it happened more than once, but I was thinking of the most recent one. And then having it published in a book also helps. I could say, look, it's already copyright in my copyright book, pattern book. So, even if I'm not making a fortune or making a lot of money off of the book, I can at least still have the book as a solid foundation that this is my pattern and that people can't take my pattern and claim that it's theirs. So I just wanted to let you know, I'm hoping to put together the Band Buddy book shortly because I'd love to get that published before too long. My goal was to get that published, early summer. So I think that is everything I wanted to say today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I'm going to put a link down to my book in the description. Like I said, right now it's only available on Kindle because that publishes much faster than the printed books do. And once I get my printed books published, then I'll include that, too, in the description, or I'll probably do a little shout out saying that I have it done. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.